Good morning, Devils fans. Rise and shine. Trevor here, and this is it. We got a big weekend of games coming up, including kicking off a 3-game homestand, and we got finally the matinee weekend back-to-back games at home. I will be attending today's game, not tomorrow's game, but wanted to come on here and give you guys the pregame report. Trevor's three things, as today, for the first time this year, we welcome in the Philadelphia Flyers, the last team we haven't seen in the Metropolitan Division this year, and one of the last teams we haven't even seen in the whole NHL this year. So, Devils and Flyers, the NJ Turnpike battle, round one, and these teams are going to get to know each other very fast, very quickly over the next couple weeks. So, let's just get right to it. So the Devils coming into this one 26-15-6. Their last game was Thursday night, the 4-3 overtime loss to Toronto. Goals leader Nico Hischier, he netted 2 of them, so good job, captain. He now leads the team with 22. And Jack Hughes is up to 55 points on the season. For the Philadelphia Flyers, they are now 20-20-6 on the season. Their last game was also Thursday. That was a 5-3 win over the New York Islanders. Their goals leader and points leaders are both Travis Konechny, 20 goals, 50 points. So the Devils, all right, so Thursday, that was a tough game. Really, really tough one. They had a 1-0 lead, a 2-1 lead, and a 3-2 lead. The 2-1 and the 3-2 both coming in the third periods, and they unfortunately blew it. They blew it pretty badly. And it's tough because so far this year, this team hasn't really blown leads that badly. You know, they're pretty good. Once they get a lead, they can stick with it. Unfortunately, just not the case Thursday, as the team is now 21-0-2 when having a lead after the third period. And if you want to get even deeper, the 2 overtime losses have both come to the Toronto Maple Leafs. So, luckily, the Devils are done with Toronto for the year, so we don't have to see them unless they face each other in the playoffs. But that was a tough one. That's a bad loss. That's a game you should have won in regulation. And now the team has played 4 straight overtime games, and they're 1-3 in that stretch. So, while they're accumulating points, they're not finishing the job in said games. And that's so that's that. You know, you gotta finish out your games now, you know. So look, they're getting points, you know, so the fact that making it to overtime, getting a point, hey, that's cool. Finish it. Take the next step and finish these games. You know, 4 straight overtime games and you only won one of them. It's not good, but it's not bad, if you get my drift here. So hopefully the team can improve upon that. They are now 3-4-3 since the Christmas break. So it's so funny how this team was just dominating before Christmas. The big shutout against Pittsburgh, the big win against the Rangers 2 days before Christmas. The break couldn't have come at a worse time for this team because they haven't really been the same since then. I don't know what's changed. I don't know what's clicked. Why isn't it clicking like it was? Like, okay, let me say it this way. They were on a historical pace leading up to the Christmas break. They weren't going to sustain that, obviously, but they've lost the oomph. I don't know what it is. Is it a little concerning? Yeah, but they put themselves in a good position in the standings. You're not going to catch Washington. They're leading the Metropolitan Division by, I think they're up to 10 points now over the Devils. So it's most likely, unless the Devils go on a bit of a run here, you're not going to catch Washington, and they're done with Washington for the year. So it's most likely the Capitals are going to win the Metro Division, and rightfully so. They're having an amazing season. Devils right now are second. Carolina trailing behind them, but not by much. They're getting closer. So you're looking at it where second and third in the Metro, hopefully they don't go on too much of collapse and now they become a wild card team. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I don't know what's changed. I don't think they're going to be going, what's the word? I don't think they're going to get back to how they were playing. We'll see what happens at the trade deadline coming up. An article came out today in The Athletic. At the time I'm recording this Friday night, Tom Fitzgerald revealed what he's going to do at the trade deadline. He's looking for a center. Player with term would be nice. He doesn't want to go out and get true rentals. And it's also just tough to tell right now because you don't know whether teams are buying or selling yet. And with this Four Nations tournament coming up, it's tough to get a gauge on where teams are going to be at. So it's going to probably be a little bit of a slog until the trade deadline. I wish Sheldon Keefe would make some lineup changes personally, especially with that bottom six, because they call these guys up from Utica and they don't play them. Why? Give them a chance. They can't be any worse than what we got out there right now. So we'll see what happens moving forward with that. And the first time seeing Philly this year, as I said, these teams are going to get to know each other real fast, real quickly. 3 meetings over the next 2 weeks, including a back-to-back next week. I think it's like the 27th and the 29th, I think, are the 2 games. So, Flyers. Obviously a rebuilding team. We got to look out for Matvei Michkov, right, their young superstar in his rookie year. He's having a good season so far. So gotta watch out for him. It's weird right now because on paper the Devils are far superior than the Flyers, but with the effort this team is showing as of late, who's gonna be the hungrier team in this game? Who's gonna care more? So that's what I'm gonna be looking out for today. Do the Devils have it in them to just beat up on Philly? Do they have the oomph? Can they get back into it? Because as much as I said, they're going to overtime and getting these points, I don't want that. I want them to win in regulation. A nice win in regulation. There's still an illness lingering around with the team. Stefan Nason, his status is still unknown as the time of this recording. Which bad time to get an illness spreading around with the team. So we're gonna see what happens, and this is a tough stretch right now for this team ever since Christmas break. So we'll slowly see. They've won a couple games, but they haven't looked really good in most of them. So it's tough to get a full gauge where this team is at right now. Now, let me just say for the record before I wrap this thing up, what this team is going through right now, I'd rather it be happening now than later in the season. So if this is a time to get your kinks, work on what needs to be worked on. Markstrom's playing out fantastic in the net. Fantastic. Unfortunately, the goal scoring is still lacking. This is still 2 lines of goal scoring, minus Stefan Nason now. So now you don't have the one guy who drives to the net and get those types of goals. So they're going to have to find score. I just don't know where they're going to. This team guy, I like the Nason signing. Tatar has been, thank God it's a 1-year deal. I think they got a little too physical, too defensive on that bottom 6. They needed to balance it out more. So as much as we were hoping for a more physical team this year, I think they went a little up and above it. So you're going to have to ask, Timo, when was the last time Timo scored? Mercer these guys that we thought would chip in more to the offense, they've been silent. So those are my thoughts. I went a little bit long with this one, but figured I'd let my feelings out on how I feel as we so 3-game homestand. I'll wrap up with this today, tomorrow. As I said, I won't be at the game Sunday. Tomorrow against Ottawa. We're getting some snow in the area, and I have a far commute to get up there, and I just don't want to risk being out there if it snows. And I also take the train in, and if trains get canceled, then it's going to be a whole mess. So, excuse me. So I'm going today for sure, tomorrow no, and then we got Ring of Honor night coming up Wednesday against Boston. So that'll certainly be a fun one. But as for now, this is going to do it. I'll be back after the game, 12:30 puck drop, nice and early today. So get in, get early, be loud, and we'll take it from there. So that's going to do it for this one. Thank you all so much for watching. My name is Trevor, and I'll see you for the next one.